I realized that my life was going to change dramatically in ways that I did not know or understand or even comprehend. I was going to have to really go to the well and become accountable and adjust to a lot of things differently.
Que queríamos era que naciera, ya, sí, ya quiero tener, entonces ahorita lo que tenemos es aprovecharla, quererla y cuidarla lo más que se pueda.
Creo que a todos nos preocupa la primera vez que nos dicen que vamos a ser padres.
When we started the program, my daughter was about 3 months, and my daughter's 22 months now. Something I love about my child, that she's healthy, she's happy, she knows that she's cared for and loved. Those are some of the things that I wanted to make sure that she had, and she has them.
I'm happy today with my daughter. She's the greatest thing in my life, and I'm glad to wake up and see her, and everything I do it for her.
Sí, bueno, yo también vengo de una familia separada. Creo que por eso también me motiva a estar más presente con él, de quizás también estar de la forma quizás que yo no la tuve para Máximo, y también comprender que el padre no solo es el que pone los límites y las reglas, sino que también está ahí para hablar, acompañar, regalonear, jugar, cosas lindas también, no solo ser el guía para el niño, sino que también un compañero de vida.
I was more of a elated and thankful because for 3 months I was in baby land, and when you're in baby world, you're just kind of flying by the seat of your pants and hoping you know that you're just supportive in the ways that you can be supportive.
Pero pues aquí pues ya los enseñan un poquito más cosas que uno no sabía, como cómo cuidarla, cómo desarrollarla, cómo educarla, y pues es algo bien porque pues cosas que yo no sabía, pues ya usted nos las dijo y todo como consejos, y pues muchas cosas que se aprendieron.
Bueno, creo que por mi parte esperaba algo totalmente diferente, como un programa más frío, por decir algo, no tan cercano a la familia, sino más bien un programa de estado programado para la ayuda solamente. Y a través del programa nos hemos dado cuenta que también pasa a ser una familia con nosotros, porque nos apoya en los momentos difíciles o cuando nos hemos visto en dificultades. Siempre nos hemos podido apoyar en Gaby a través de su programa. Encuentro que ha sido fundamental el apoyo.
You know, my experience has been nothing but positive. Annette has been wonderful. She's on time. She lets me know if there's going to be any changes in the schedule.
Not only did we get the assistance with this program, but we also made a really good friend. I'm happy to call Gabby our friend.
I still feel the challenge of being a parent now in today's world is immense. I think that you need support.
Es un gran apoyo para nuevos padres, y más aún si están en nuestra situación, que somos extranjeros, que nuestra familia y amigos, como dice Carla, están en otro país, lejos. Entonces sí, viene muy bien el programa para apoyarse tanto emocional y como anímicamente, y bueno, en varios aspectos del programa que nos ayuda a seguir adelante con esta nueva aventura.
Don't be afraid to take that step. Like, don't be afraid to get help, because you might think that you know what you're doing, but it's always okay to have extra support, and don't do it alone.
Give it a try. You got nothing to lose. It's free. I'm grateful that I took advantage, because it's something that has put me in touch with my child, or closer to my child and her development.
Mendocino County Local Agency Formation Commission meeting of September 8th, 2025 to order and invite a roll call.
Good morning, Commissioners. Commissioner Roden,
Roden, yes, I'm here.
Commissioner Mahoney, Commissioner Horsley,
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Present.
Commissioner Klein. She sends her regrets. Commissioner Ward,
Here.
Commissioner Zakaria, Commissioner Hashik, and Commissioner Crane are both absent, and Chair Mulhern.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I'd just like to remind the commission to use the mute function on your screens to unmute and mute your microphone. And that if you use the highlighter that you can find in your drawer, then I'll be able to tell when you have a comment. At this time, I'm going to move on to item number 2, public expression. The commission welcomes participation in the LAFCO meeting. Any person may address the commission on any subject within the jurisdiction of LAFCO which is not on the agenda. There is a 3-minute limit and no action will be taken at this meeting. Are there any members of the public in the room that wish to come forward at this time? And E.O. Hinman, I don't have the Zoom screen up. Is there anybody online that wishes to speak? Okay, great, thank you. With that, we can move on to item 3A, the oath of office for incoming alternate special district member Adam Gaska. And E.O. Hinman, did you want to introduce the item or?
Mr. Gaska could maybe give a brief introduction and then do his oath.
Sit on the Redwood Valley County Water District Board, along with a lot of other water boards locally. I work for Mendocino County Farm Bureau.
Thank you. And if you would like to read your oath into the record.
Yeah. I, Adam Gaska, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties which I'm about to enter.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
You can be seated up here if you wish.
And are there any members of the public that wish to comment on this item? Having none in the room and I think none online, we can go ahead and move on to item 4, the consent calendar. We have 5 items on the consent calendar: the July meeting summary, the July claims and financial report, the August claims and financial report, a support letter for SB 858, and a contract with Mendocino County Information Systems. Commissioner Ward and Commissioner Horsley.
I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to have some corrections and questions on 4A, B, and C. And to begin with, on page 4, under item number 4, consent calendar, it says the following comments was made. I should probably just take the whole thing out because there weren't any comments on that particular item. So if there were comments, it would be were. The next page, page 5, under 4F, ratify the executive officer's approval of the City of Ukiah outside services, continued provisions of, it should be internet services, not interest services.
And just for the record, that's City of Fort Bragg.
City of Fort Bragg. Page 6, the third bullet point, the minutes are really good about putting what certain things mean, but OAS, what is OAS again?
Outside agency services.
Yeah, if we could spell those out. Sometimes sometimes you use it in one area and then you use it later. I just couldn't remember what that was. Page 7. On the number 8 in the bullet point. I think, no, this one I'm going to ask later. There is some negotiation still with the HCD, and I'll talk about that later. On page 8, the EMS, the 8D on page 8, there was talked about the begin negotiating and coordinating outreach efforts for fire and emergency services study. Is that part of our work plan, or is that a project?
That's part of our work plan. Our work plan for this fiscal year is the 18 fire and emergency response agencies.
Okay, so the $247 that you spent for the study so far, that's part of that's legit, not, it shouldn't be part of a project then. Okay.
Correct.
On page 9, under the claims and financial report, under Hinman and Associates, down at the bottom, 8034, the 0-2025-024 Bragg OAS 165. What was that for?
That was for finalizing the out-of-agency service agreement application for the City of Fort Bragg's internet services.
Okay. And then above, under 5700, Internet, Comcast, what was the Hostinger?
That is the domain registration.
Okay, so you added those together to come up to 115 because the Internet was only 9912. Okay. Page 10 on the statement of revenue and expense of the budget. When did we change? I thought we were doing it by month. You used to do it by month. Now you're putting the totals together. Is that something that we talked about? Because I don't remember that.
We shifted to that approach about 4 months ago. And usually as part of the treasurer's, the claims that go to the treasurer, I include the month by month.
Mm-hmm.
If you prefer the month by month in here, we can do that.
It's just easier to follow because what I try to do is take your claims for that particular month and then tie it into the revenue, and it's easy to do that when I can see it separately. But I noticed that they're combined, so it's just something that I guess I'll have to get used to.
Well, the intent was for a cleaner presentation, but we can certainly do the month-to-month format as well.
Okay, and then on page, I'm sorry for all these questions, page 11, the tracking for applications, under other fees and expenses, there's $400 for the Russian River flood control annexation. What was that 400 for?
That was a check to the county surveyor for a map check fee.
Ooh. And so we've got service fee revenues. What are those? I mean, I know that we have a percentage and all, but that's $6,000.
That's revenue to LAFCO as part of the service fees that are billed to the customer or the applicant.
Okay, and then on page 12, under your work plan, 7001 work plan, inland agencies, sphere of influences, you're developing an administrative draft, MSRSOI, for Laytonville County Water District.
Correct.
But there's no staff hours above for Laytonville. It doesn't mention Laytonville.
It's included under the Inland Region Water and Wastewater MSR, the 33 hours.
The Laytonville is?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, on page 16, Marcia Birch's invoice. You have it in red, calculated $427.50. Shouldn't that be project expense?
Correct, it is. So when you look at the billing breakout, it is billed to the Russian River Flood Control District for legal review of the negative declaration. and that's why it's called out separately on this
It came
invoice.
off your claim or off your invoice, so you include the 1710 as to her for that. It wasn't separated out.
I can look at that.
Page 18, claims and financial report under City of Ukiah. UVCC office space is now 900. Why is it $924 now?
We received a bill for back charges to January for, in January, there was supposed to be a rate increase, and they did not do that because the invoicing shifted between coming directly from the conference center to the City of Ukiah. And in that transition, they missed that annual increase in January, so we received a bill for that portion of it.
What is our monthly rate now, or monthly cost?
It is, I believe it's $581 plus the $30 workroom fee,
Okay.
so it's $608.
Last month it was $700 and some dollars, so it hasn't been consistent. So they're back billing us each month.
Correct. We pay a month in advance, so there's that delay. We should be caught up moving forward.
Okay. And then postage and copying, did we return a bunch of postage or something? It's a minus $266.
There was a counting error on the Xerox machine, and so they refunded us a
good.
portion.
And then on page 24, one of the invoices that you sent to me is called phone.com. Can you explain what that is now?
Yes, about 5 years ago, we moved the phone service to phone.com, which at the time was the most cost-efficient way to have phone service in the office. We had been doing it through the internet, through Pacific Internet, and when we shifted to Comcast, because we're on a business plan with Comcast, the phone was very high, it was very expensive, so we went with this phone.com service. It has gone up a little bit since last year, and so we can look around again for cost-efficient service providers.
And I think it's a good opportunity now, too, to talk about what you and I talked about the internet, not the internet, but the web site. We made that decision. Maybe you can give the commission an update on that, or have we haven't talked about it yet, have we?
No, you'll have to refresh my memory. I'm sorry.
I'll bring it up later.
Okay.
On page 26, Marcia Birch's other invoice. Isn't the Russian River Flood Control Annexation a project?
It is a project. It's always kind of a balance trying to determine how much to charge to the applicant versus how much is work on a project is background research. So she did look at our draft response again to the negative declaration, and that was the time that was spent. And we held a meeting with Russian River Flood Control District staff. So if you feel that should be charged to the applicant.
I'm just trying to minimize our money going out.
I understand.
Yeah, it's almost $600, so it's quite a bit of money. That's all I have for items 4A through D.
Commissioner Horsley.
I think this will be helpful for the new commissioners also. Could you tell us who's the analyst and who's the analyst? Keep getting them.
Yes, thank you. Jen Crump is our clerk analyst, and Larkin Filer is a senior analyst.
Okay, so on page 12, there's analyst and analyst clerk, so is senior analyst Larson?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Do we have any additional questions from Commissioner? Yes. Okay. Seeing none, I'd be looking for motion for approval. Commissioner
I would like to
Gonzalez?
move the consent calendar.
Thank you. Thank you. Are there any members of the public that wish to comment on the consent calendar? Seeing none, and are there any online?
None online.
Thank you. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Thank you. Commissioner Ward?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Commissioner Horsley?
Yes.
Commissioner Mahoney?
Yes.
Commissioner Roden?
Yes.
Chair Mulhern?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. We do not have a public hearing item today, and we do not have a workshop today. So we'll move on to item 7A, the Hopland Public Utility District Review. The Commission will consider staff's review and determination that there has been no substantial change in circumstances for the Hopland Public Utility District that warrants an update of the 2013 Municipal Service Review and 2016 Sphere of Influence Study. E.O. Hinman, would you like to start this?
Thank you. I also want to note right off the bat that Jared Walker, who's the contract general manager for Hopland PUD, is available today to answer questions. And I want to thank him for all of the coordination in developing this streamlined review. Last year, we began implementing a streamlined sphere review process for agencies that have undergone few changes since the last review and have proposed no changes to their sphere of influence. The streamlined process is initiated with a questionnaire reviewed with agency staff and which forms the basis of our administrative record that the sphere review has been conducted on a 5-year basis and finds that no substantial changes have been identified that would warrant a comprehensive review. Staff then brings forward the review and recommendation to the Commission to affirm no changes to the agency's current sphere by resolution, and the agency is then scheduled for another review in 5 years. This will be the second agency reviewed under this streamlined process. I met with the general manager for the district, Mr. Walker, to review the previous MSR and sphere determinations for any changes or updates discussed, and the questionnaire was discussed and near-term plans for the district as well. Staff then summarized the responses to the questionnaire, which were reviewed and then certified by the district. That certified questionnaire is in your agenda packet on as attachment 2 on page 45. As brief background on the district, the Hopland PUD was formed in the 1950s to provide water, sewer, and fire services to landowners within the Sunel Valley, particularly in and immediately surrounding the community of Hopland. The fire department became a separate entity in 1995, and the district also supplies water to the Hopland Band of Pomo Indians and their casino, which is located east of Hopland. The sphere was last reviewed in 2016, and the Commission adopted a coterminous sphere at that time. During this review, it was brought to LAFCO's attention that 7 parcels located outside the district boundaries do receive water and/or sewer services. Those parcels have been identified and will be reviewed during the next sphere of influence study. The most recent financial statements, I do apologize, it looks like we have the incorrect audit, so we will correct that in the record. But that does start on page 55. There's also a profit and loss statement for Hopland PUD, as well as a balance sheet. During the past few years, the district has operated at a deficit. However, they are currently undergoing a rate study, and I believe Mr. Walker can give us an update on that today. Based on the results of the interview, questionnaire, and a review of the current financial statements, staff has determined that no substantial changes to governance, finance, or services have occurred since the last sphere review, and recommends the Commission find the review meets the intent of Government Code 56425G that requires spheres of influence for municipal service providers be reviewed every 5 years. In so doing, the Commission will be affirming no change to the district's current sphere of influence, and then direction to staff to schedule for an additional review for 5 years. The draft resolution is included as attachment 4 on page 78 of your packet, and the recommended actions are identified on page 41 of your packet. And that concludes presentation.
Thank you. Commissioner Ward and Commissioner Gonzalez.
So what were I didn't look at the last MSR for them, but what was the determinations? Was there anything substantial?
There was discussion in the recommendations and determinations regarding potential consolidation with some of the Ukiah Valley districts, which was recommendation made for all of the Ukiah Valley special districts at that time.
That was it. There was nothing,
That was essentially it, yes.
okay. You mentioned the audit. What was wrong with the audit?
So it turns out that the Calpella County Water District audit made it into the staff report, so my apologies for that.
Oh, but the actual Celentano audit report is fine.
Yes, yeah, we will add that in, yeah.
Okay.
Switch it over. Sorry about that.
There's 7 areas outside the service area, 7 water and sewer customers. Why are we waiting again 5 years to get that taken care of?
If we were to address that this time with the sphere, to pull those into the sphere, it would necessitate a comprehensive study. So if the commission feels that that is important to address this time, then we can schedule the MSR sphere update.
It seems like, then it may end up being 7 years or something by the time we get to it or whatever. Here we got their opportunity to do it. I like the idea of the streamlined system, but not to have some things like that taken care of. But I guess it's been like that for years and years and years. I think I have some questions for Mr. Walker, so maybe have.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
So, what kind of rate increase were you requesting?
We had Hildebrand Consulting put together a comprehensive rate study. He has done several rate studies for agencies in this area in the greater Ukiah Valley. This is for water and sewer. Hopland PUD has not increased rates in roughly 10 years, so we are definitely due. Looking at it, the sewer charges are a flat rate. What is being proposed is going from $60 per month to $75 per month. And then the average residential home will increase about $12 per month between a flat fee, between the base fee and the uniform water usage fees.
What's the percentage?
About 40% on the water side of things and 25% on sewer.
How'd that go?
Percentages are large, but given the relatively low rates, it's an increase of about $30 per month for the average residential home. From the public standpoint, it is a rather large increase, and that's what happens when these utilities do not have ongoing rate increases over the span of 5 years.
Right.
So it is a 5-year plan at this point in time.
Yeah. Most people will rather have 1 or 2%
Correct.
than
Yeah,
10 years have 40.
10 years ago, if we were doing 5% a year, we wouldn't be in this situation.
From your 24 financials, which I assume are the most current, you're making money on your sewer, but you're not making money on water.
Correct.
But you're still raising rates for sewer?
Correct.
And you have, for a small company or a small district, you have a lot of cash, which is good. But, why, are you maybe contemplating maybe reducing that rate increase and using some of the cash?
Well, there are a number of projects that the district would like to accomplish here in the next 5 years. We also have an outstanding loan balance through USDA of about $800,000. And that term, I believe, is up in 2040 for water mainline replacement on the Highway 101 section of Hopland in, I believe, 2000 is when that was done.
You're making annual
we are making payments to,
yeah.
Correct. Yes. In terms of the projects coming up, the largest one is currently being mandated by Caltrans. It's about a $5 million project that the district at this point in time will be responsible to fund. That's really an ADA compliance project. They're going to reshape Highway 101, redo sidewalks, and by doing so, the elevation changes, and we are going to relocate water and sewer mains to get the proper depth and coverage. It's a $5 million project for Hopland PUD, who has 330 ratepayers. Very big nut to go crack there.
Well, it's good that you have that kind of cash. I mean, a lot of districts don't have that kind of cash.
Correct.
Which reminds you, I don't know if our staff talked to you about it, but maybe you need to put more cash in different banks because of the FICA.
Yeah, and we do have a
250,000.
LAIF account also, which is a high interest earning account,
Yeah.
which is where most of the money should stay.
Also on your financial statements, you have an unfunded pension liability
Mhm.
of about $88,000, but it wasn't booked. Why wasn't it booked on the financial liability?
That's probably more of a question for the
Okay,
auditor.
for Mike, so,
Mhm.
that's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I do have pins up from Commissioner Gonzalez, Horsley, and Roden. And so maybe if you don't mind, Mr. Walker, just waiting here because I'm not sure if
Yes.
they're for the EO or for you.
Okay.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
Mine's more for the EO. I like these streamlined ones. I almost kind of feel like,
Do them all.
well, no, I feel like maybe in each meeting we could throw one in there and knock some out as we go along. I kind of feel like we got something done here, and granted, I know you can't cherry pick all your easy ones, but if you mix them up, we might be able to knock some out. That was it.
Thank you. Commissioner Horsley.
This is just curiosity. I noticed that the board members get $84.40 a month. Where did that number come from?
That is an outdated rate. It was the water and sewer base charges equal to $84.40 at one point in time.
So it says current board member compensation for 40.
Mm-hmm.
How is their compensation calculated?
It was a combination of their base water and sewer charges and average water usage is how that was calculated, but that was going back at least 10 years ago, is my understanding.
That's really interesting. I've never heard of
It's a
anything
strange
like-
dollar amount, yes.
Yes. Okay. Are they going to, considering the fact that are they considering changing that?
It has been discussed, but that's as far as the discussion really went.
Okay. It's not a big item. It just was very odd.
Yeah, the question came up with if we do adopt the new rates, what that compensation will look like for the directors, but the rates have not been adopted at this point in time.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That is an interesting process.
Yes.
And Commissioner Roden.
Okay, I guess I'm on. My question's on page 42, the short paragraph about the district continues to operate with a full board and contract general manager, Jared Walker. Do you perform your duties as the contract general manager in your capacity as the deputy director of water services or as a separate gig on your own? That was unclear.
It's not on my own. So I am Deputy Director of Water Resources through the City of Ukiah at this point. Previously, I was the General Manager for Willow County Water District, and Willow County Water District provided the administration, operations, and management for Hopland PUD. My new role at the city, I think just in order to keep things flowing as they were, for my job duties as part of that to still serve as general manager for the 6 other water districts.
Okay, that's what I wasn't clear about, if it was only...
It's a lot of hats to wear.
Yeah, right. That's my only question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. EO Hinman, I have a question, but I see that Commissioner Ward also has a
I
question.
just have a clarification. On the financials again, the Mike Celentano letter is addressed to the Calpella, but the actual profit and loss and balance sheet are Hopland. Okay.
That is correct.
I was going to say, hopefully I didn't mess up and say all that cash should have been Calpella.
And I think there are about 7 years of audits on the Willow County Water District website for Hopland PD.
Well, you've done a good job.
Thank you.
Thank you for your answers.
Commissioner Roden.
Just one more question for the executive officer. I understand, this is just my edification, I understand why you're saying we don't, even though there are 7 properties served outside of the district boundaries, there isn't an urgent need to expand the sphere of influence. But I'm just curious, in your thinking about this, in your approach to it, what would have constituted, a need or a determination on your part that we should do it now, even if it's a hypothetical? I'm just curious.
That's a great question. We spoke to Mr. Walker about the district's interest in annexing those in the near future, and that was really the determining factor. We didn't feel that there was a need to expand the district boundary at this time. Those services, and we also discussed outside agency services and the correct process for extending service outside boundaries, and that it does require LAFCO review and approval prior to doing so. So since there is no additional wish to extend more services or annex those areas in, then we determined that in the near term, it would be okay potentially to wait until the next 5-year review.
Thank you. I guess my question was a follow-up to that. So the process for incorporating those 7 within the district would be to change the MSR, which we're thinking we're going to wait maybe closer to 5 years. What's the tracking between LAFCO and the district as to that happening? If Mr. Walker wins the lottery and moves to Aruba tomorrow, who's keeping track that those 7 are still outside? And I think just in general, because we have many special districts throughout the county that have done these sort of deals where everybody kind of doesn't remember what happened. What's the tracking process so that we do make sure we incorporate them in the next 5 years?
Thank you for that question. We did go through an effort to map those 7 parcels that are receiving the service, and those are included on page 54 of your agenda packet. So we attached it to the request for the certified request for information as part of the record, so that we can follow up on that the next time.
Thank you. Are there, we have no members of the public in the room. Are there any members of the public online?
No comments online.
Okay. The recommended action is to approve the resolution finding that staff did conduct an interview with district staff, including the review of the MSR SOI determinations, and finding that no substantial change in governance, finance, or services has occurred since the last review, and that also we could continue to affirm that no change to the Hopland Public Utilities District's 2016 sphere of influence, and direct staff to schedule the next review for 5 years or as needed. So I'd be looking for a motion or discussion.
So move.
Thank you. That was Commissioner Gonzalez and Commissioner Roden. And if we could have a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Ward,
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes.
Commissioner Horsley,
Yes.
Commissioner Mahoney, Commissioner Roden, Chair Mulhern.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Walker, for being here today.
Thank you all.
At
Thank
this
you.
time, we can move on to item 7B, the 24-25 fiscal year end report. And EO Hinman, I believe you're taking this one.
Yes, thank you. At the end of each fiscal year, it's our policy to present a year-end financial summary. This year, staff has developed an annual report that summarizes our accomplishments, progress on our work program tasks, in addition to the final budget report. The intent of the report is to demonstrate accountability and increase transparency for the commissioners, as well as our local government agencies and the public. The report starts on page 81 of your packet. The first 2 pages include LAFCO's mission and principles and priorities. Following that is a summary of changes in the commission and the work program highlights. Last fiscal year, staff completed a comprehensive update of our application forms, which required substantial outreach and coordination with county departments, the State Board of Equalization, and additional and more specific forms and questionnaires were developed. The updates were completed last year and implemented and are posted on our website now. Also included in the work program was development of an annual report, which we will continue to build on. The next iteration will include a tracking sheet of commission direction and follow-up items from MSR and sphere studies and applications. Ongoing tasks include updates to policies and procedures as needed, and continuing to build our online catalog of past meeting agendas and summaries. The next section of the report provides a status of the work plan tasks assigned for the year. Staff developed and the Commission adopted a total of 7 comprehensive MSR and sphere studies last year, as well as the first streamlined review for the Round Valley County Water District. We completed the coastal water and wastewater studies and 3 of the inland water agencies. During the year, the work plan was reprioritized, delaying 4 Ukiah Valley Water District studies and adding the cities of Willits and Point Arena and the Mendocino Coast Rec and Park District. These studies are at the administrative draft stage and will be coming to the Commission in the coming months. Application processing was lighter than anticipated, primarily due to delays in tax share negotiations, which kept several projects incomplete. 2 applications were completed, the City of Ukiah's Western Hills annexation and the City of Fort Bragg's outside agency services for internet services. The budget summary starts on page 87 of your agenda packet, including a high-level overview of revenue and expenditures, and a more detailed budget versus actual is in the appendix on page 92 of your packet. We expended about 88% of our budget. Savings were mainly in legal counsel, in-county travel and stipends, travel and lodging, and conference registrations, and included several canceled meetings. So this report is a work in progress, and staff does welcome your feedback to help us make it better. And that concludes the presentation.
Thank you. Commissioner Ward.
Very good. Thank you for that report. This is the first one I've seen this elaborate. This is a good one. Have we been doing them in the past?
This is the first one.
I'm going to say, I've seen it like that. Every district and every city in this county should get a copy of it, you know, to see what we do, because we've had a lot of discussion up here that people don't know what LAFCO does. And this report, I think, would really open up a lot of eyes in the community as to what we do and how we do it. So I can commend you and the staff for doing this. Yeah, I'd like to see this each and every year, so that would be great.
Thank you, Commissioner Roden.
A new tradition, and I think it'd be great too for our new alternate commissioner. It's a great orientation tool. And that's all I wanted to say. Thank you for putting effort into this.
Thank you.
Commissioner Horsley.
I just want to compliment you on the graph on page 90. I find that so easy to follow as to what's coming up, what's been done, and what we will have in the near future. I've never seen one like this before. But was this a particular app, or?
It's one of the one of the options for creating a chart in Word. Yeah.
In what?
In Word.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna. Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. And I also, getting the information to the public about the work we are doing can be really challenging. So thank you again for this comprehensive report. I think it's nicely done, and I really appreciate the work that went into it.
Yeah.
Good work.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we don't have a vote on that. We received the report, and we can move on to item 7C, the CALAFCO Annual Conference, Board of Directors vacancies, and voting delegates. E.O. Hinman, would you like to describe this for the commission?
Sure. Yes. Thank you. Find myself here. So this item serves 3 purposes. One is, again, to bring forward the 2025 annual conference. To date, we have 3 commissioners that are registered. We have Commissioners Gonzalez, Roden, and Commissioner Klein. I will also be attending. If there are other commissioners that are interested, we have up to 2 spots available left that we've budgeted for. It is an excellent conference for new commissioners in particular. It is geared towards commissioners and executive officers, so but primarily to commissioners. So there's a LAFCO 101 Wednesday morning, which is really beneficial in learning what LAFCO is all about and the role of, and responsibility of the commissioners. So I do highly recommend it. We are getting close to registration deadlines, I think a couple of weeks out, so if there's anyone else, please do speak up. The second part of this is that the reminder that there are 2 vacancies for the Northern Region representatives to the CALAFCO Board of Directors. There is a county member and a special district member seat that they are soliciting nominees for. So that deadline is September 19th. If there is a county or special district member who is interested, then the board should, they should express their interest, and the board should make a recommendation to that, and we can fill out the paperwork. The final item in this is that each member LAFCO is responsible for selecting a voting delegate and an alternate to participate in the CALAFCO business meeting and in the election process, which occurs on the second day of the conference. So whoever is selected should be a commissioner who is attending the conference already, and then we will have an opportunity at our meeting in October to review the nominees, and if there is the board, so the commission has an opportunity to weigh in on that. The alternate can be either another commissioner, or it can be a staff person as well. So those are the three items to touch bases on for the commission.
Do you need a nomination for, I'd like to nominate Commissioner Roden to be our voting delegate. Nope?
I think we can make Commissioner,
Yeah.
since we have a city member as the voting, maybe perhaps we can make Commissioner Klein the alternate. That way we have a city and a county representative. And then you're going to bring an item back for us to vote on in October with those? Or this is, we need to vote now?
Yeah, we'll have a discussion item about the nominees for the special districts, or the Board of Directors nominations.
Oh, right. Okay, thank you. I think it was just a discussion.
Just a designation, yeah.
Yeah. Commissioner Horsley?
I noticed there were, in the past discussions, there were some deadlines, recommendations, or do you know what those deadlines are for the CALAFCO conference?
Well, the deadlines for the voting delegates they have to be submitted by September 19th. And then there were some other deadlines for the nominees. Was it something for conference registration?
We want to make recommendations for executive officers.
Oh, for nominations
Yeah.
for awards. That deadline has passed. Thank you. Any other questions?
I am not seeing any. Okay, we have no members of the public in the room, but if we could just confirm there's no members of the public online that have questions or
Correct.
comments.
We only have staff online at this point.
Thank you. Okay, with that, we can move on to our information and report items, starting with item 8A, the work plan, current and future proposals, written item.
Thank you. We have several applications on file. Again, all of these are on hold pending a tax share agreement. So we have the city of we have the Anderson Valley CSD's application to annex its sphere, and we have the Elk CSD's activation for latent powers of wastewater services. That one's been on hold for quite some time now. They are requiring a tax share agreement, and they also are going through some engineering studies to establish rates. So it is both an information need as well as the tax share agreement. The City of Fort Bragg and the City of Ukiah both have pre-applications on file for potential annexations. There's been nothing new on the City of Fort Bragg, and we are continuing to coordinate with the City of Ukiah for their development of their application for reorganization. We also have a pre-application on file for the Russian River Flood Control District's annexation of the Redwood Valley County Water District. I do want to note there is a joint meeting of those two districts this evening at 5:30 at Barra Winery to discuss the pre-application and to solicit public feedback. We are continuing to track the Anderson Valley CSD's potential activation for latent powers of water and wastewater services. That has been a long process. We don't have any recent updates on that, but that eventually will come to LAFCO for approval of those activation of powers. Also, the City of Willits is developing an application for a sphere amendment, and staff will be working with them as we develop the MSR. So we have an MSR that is in administrative draft form that we'll be coordinating with the city, and then concurrent or immediately following that, we anticipate an application for a sphere amendment from the city. We're also working with the City of Fort Bragg. There are some requests for extension of sewer services outside their city boundaries. So we're working with the city on that as well, and anticipate that in the next couple of months. On the work plan, so we are conducting a comprehensive review of the Laytonville County Water District. Their general manager, we just received notice this last week that their general manager passed away. So that, imagine, will be delayed for some time.
Who was that?
Mr. Shields.
Tim Shields died.
Very suddenly. We completed the second streamlined review for the Hopland Public Utility District today. We are continuing to work on the Mendocino County Rec and Park District MSR, and we are in the administrative draft phase, so doing technical review with the district staff. The City of Willits and the City of Point Arena will be receiving their administrative draft studies for technical review, and then shortly, hopefully after that, we will be able to schedule public workshops. We've also initiated the fire and EMS service providers series of studies, so it's 18 agencies, and I did present kind of a LAFCO 101 and overview of the MSR sphere process at the Fire Districts Association meeting in August, and this Wednesday I'll be presenting to the Fire Chiefs Association down in Gualala. Once that presentation is done, so the latter half of this month, we'll be sending out the request for information to all of the fire and EMS service providers and initiating that process. And I believe that at this time, we'll be starting on the south coast and working our way north. All I have, unless there are questions.
Thank you. I have questions for Commissioner Roden and Commissioner Ward.
Well, first, I think that's great that you began the fire EMS MSRs by speaking to all the chiefs, and to, that was a really good thing to do. I think I hadn't thought about that, but yeah, letting them all know, ask questions before you begin the whole process. And then on the application, active proposals, Anderson Valley, I had asked you outside of the meeting about what's going on with the tax sharing. Can you talk a little bit more about what's happening with that?
I can. I serve on the Anderson Valley tax sharing with Supervisor Norvell, and we've been unable to reach an agreement with Anderson Valley at this point. We have another internal meeting today, and then we'll continue the process. Just as a reminder, the tax sharing agreement between the City of Ukiah and actually all four cities, City of Ukiah, City of Willits, City of Fort Bragg, and City of Point Arena in the County of Mendocino took 22 months. And so unfortunately, the Anderson Valley conversation is also not going rapidly, but we are meeting and trying to work through it.
Okay. And what's the other one? Oh, the meeting, you mentioned there's a meeting tonight with the Flood Control District and the Redwood Valley County Water District. Are you attending that? Are you speaking at it? Or you're just saying it's happening?
Yeah, it's just an informational note. I will not be attending and have not been asked to participate.
It would seem to me that it would be really, because I've heard that there are lots of misunderstandings and misinformation flying around about what the implications are of that annexation, why it's happening, how it's going to affect residential use, ag use. And I know you probably can't stay for it, but I don't know if you could be there to answer questions. It might be a way to contain and control misinformation. So I would just urge you that if there were any way for you to attend it, that might be great.
Thank you for that comment. I did work with the general manager to develop a frequently asked questions document that she'll be sharing at the meeting tonight that specifically goes through the LAFCO process and what that is. But I will try to attend if I can.
So if it's going to be Zoom,
There is no Zoom option for this meeting. It starts at 5:30.
Commissioner Ward?
Yeah, thank you. My question was about the tax sharing agreement too. So what, you said there's a committee for the one on Anderson Valley. What about Elk?
I was actually going to speak with EO Hinman about that. I don't believe that I've seen a Board of Supervisors agenda item for that. And so if there's a request for tax sharing, that needs to be something that the board brings forward to the entire Board of Supervisors to select an ad hoc. So I'm happy to help with that and place that item on the agenda if it's not already been processed with the clerk of the board.
Thank you.
It's only 2 years since we've had it.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Chair Mulhern.
So are you at liberty to say what the problem is between you and the county and Anderson Valley?
Money?
The money? Is it money?
It's a tax sharing negotiation. So I think that as most everybody knows, the county's budget is in a serious deficit, and so I think there's just ongoing conversations about what that looks like and frankly what gives in order to have Anderson Valley complete the process.
But money's always been a problem. We may never get a tax sharing agreement if it's all done by money. We need to figure out something better.
I'm working on it, sir.
Okay. The pre-application review of pre-application review of the City of Ukiah reorganization. That's just another nice word of saying is take out the annexation, right?
So our process, our role in the pre-application is to really work with them to bring forward LAFCO's policies and the state statutes, what's required under the Cortese-Knox-Hertzberg. And we have in the Cortese-Knox-Hertzberg is a list of factors that have to be considered for any application and analyzed in the processing of an application. So we are working with the city to, in their development of their proposal, to make sure that those are brought forward and understood with the goal that when they do submit an application, that the application is something that we can properly analyze and come up with, recommendations to the commission based on that analysis. So we do meet every other week with the city staff, so there is pretty close coordination on the process. We also discuss the planning documents that have been put into place, so the Ukiah Valley Area Plan, the City of Ukiah General Plan, as well as the municipal service reviews that have been done on the districts and the city since 2013. There are recommendations and determinations in those LAFCO studies that, that as staff is our role to bring those forward and for consideration and development of the proposal.
So you're quantifying all this cost then?
That cost is, provided to or passed on to the city under that pre-application.
I was just curious what reorganization means. I mean,
It's actually a defined term in the Cortese-Knox-Hertzberg. It has to do with more than one
okay.
action. So not simply an annexation, but annexation and potential consolidation or detachment. It's just more than one action.
Based on your discussions with the city, when do we anticipate seeing something before us?
Likely not until sometime early next year. It really depends on the process that, you know, the outreach process and how that goes.
Can't wait.
Thank you for the updates, E.O. Henman, for the commissioners to be updated that you're working through all of these annexations and reorganizations as part of the work plan, I think is really important. A lot of these things, especially within the cities of Fort Bragg, Willits, and Ukiah, have been spoken about for literal decades. So it can be a challenging conversation to keep those communication lines open so that the public understands the work that's being done. So thank you for that update. Seeing no further questions, do we have any correspondence under 8B?
No, we don't.
And under 8C, the CALAFCO Business and Legislative Report, there is a document provided in the agenda packet. And did you have comments you'd like to make as well?
Nothing to add unless there are questions.
I have a question.
Commissioner Ward?
Under the bylaws, they're making adjustments to it. There was a list of all the counties that pay their fees to CALAFCO. And they had what's the population of Mendocino County? I argued this a few months back, and I thought it was going down, but it's
approximately 90,000.
Is it really 90? Because I've heard it was as low as 86 or something.
It went up in the recent census that was done in 2020.
It's growing. Yeah. We're all losing.
You shouldn't trust everything that you hear.
Anyway, ours is based on 90,000, but I was really curious about the per capita cost per person. We're paying one of the highest in the state. You know, some of these bigger counties are paying a lot less per capita. Like $20 that we're paying. Hopefully we get. So how do you feel about this new reorganization, I guess, with CALAFCO?
There's a lot of, I think they have good leadership in place to move this forward. They have done a lot of outreach. I've participated in reorganization strategy meetings. There's a lot more transparency of process. They've held special meetings that all of the LAFCO EOs have been attending to participate in that process and to move forward the recommendations that are in the bylaws. So I feel like they're on a really good track. I know there's a lot of effort going into this CALAFCO conference to improve membership relations and also to demonstrate to their membership that they are making huge efforts to re-steer the ship. But I think it's headed in a really good way. And I know that some of most of the six LAFCOs that have withdrawn from CALAFCO did so for a year and then will be reconsidering their membership in the spring.
How will that affect our dues, you think, next year?
That is yet to be determined. They decided to keep them the way as they were adopted for this year. I'm not sure what that will mean for next year.
They were pretty big counties, weren't they?
They were the largest.
And what's the purpose of adding executive officers as voting members?
The voting on the changes?
Yeah. We
basically voted on recommendations. So those recommendations then go to the board, and the board then makes changes. So what we're doing is we're providing feedback to the consultants, and there is actually a new interim director who was hired last month, I believe.
Alyssa?
Michelle McIntyre. She is the executive officer for Placer LAFCO, or was.
So you've been participating as an executive officer in that? Good.
In those meetings, yes. And so these changes to the bylaws reflect the feedback from CALAFCO. It's not all executive officers. There are some commissioners who have been involved in the process. The Northern Region meeting that I attended over in Chico had several commissioners attend. So there's quite a bit of, there's a substantial outreach process, which was missing for several years.
Be curious when you guys get back from, go and see what.
Honestly, I thought, based on the hubbub from all of this, that I thought maybe this was going to be let's get everybody back to talking, is
Yeah.
what I'm thinking.
Very much so. That has been their goal and the focus of this conference. They have, they're putting forward a very well-regarded author as the keynote speaker, so he should be pretty interesting. He's a ex-submarine captain or something like that, but he has he's written a number of books and has a consulting business that really works with organizations that are going through transition like this.
Thank you. Any additional questions? I'm not seeing any. And were there any committee reports on item 8E for the executive committee or policies and procedures? Seeing none. And then are there any commissioner reports, comments, or questions? Commissioner Horsley and Commissioner Ward?
Yeah, just that the Sand District did also adopt a rate study and has implemented
Thank you. Commissioner Ward?
Yeah, I was going to bring it up earlier, but I think it's more appropriate now. But in the minutes, you said there were some negotiations with the health district, Mendocino County Health District, and that there was nothing to share when you would contact the staff this month. This is back in July. Have you made contact and we made any developments?
We have, so I have two things to report. One is really great news that we have worked
They're
with.
paying for it.
They are paying starting this year.
Good.
I worked with the auditor's office to differentiate the financials between the Adventist Health Hospital and the district themselves. So with that clarification, then they will start billing the healthcare district now, which is great news for the special districts. I'm not sure how much yet.
They're paying like $30,000 a year, I think. You're talking about I'm talking about the hospital.
Yeah, the healthcare district, it just depends on how much their revenue was for the last reportable year. And so regarding the potential MOU for cost for funding an MSR, they are still working through their financial audit and have asked that we wait until February to initiate any kind of MSR or MOU. We did send them a draft MOU for their consideration, and that was their response, that they are continuing to work through their financial audits and will be in a better place at that point as far as being able to provide that information for the MSR.
I guess a little bit of news, good news, so better than nothing.
Okay, any additional commissioner comments? Okay, well, since we've already discussed the Anderson Valley tax sharing agreement, I will not go into that further, but just so that you know.
Get her done, get her done.
I believe I had this continued encouragement from Commissioner Ward all throughout the process of the tax sharing agreement with the
I'll come
cities
to the meeting
and the
help out.
county. So perhaps there's, yeah, well, we can discuss that offline. All right.
Yeah. Poke 'em.
With that, I do believe that the meeting could be adjourned. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Oh, I did have a couple of items for the executive officer's report.
Oh, everybody stay. I'm so sorry.
It'll be brief, I promise.
Please go ahead. I jumped right over it.
I just wanted to let folks know that since we conducted the MSR sphere updates for the Mendocino County Water Works District Number 2, so that is a small sewer district that serves the Anchor Bay community, and the Gualala CSD, and I believe that was year before last that we completed those studies. They've continued to coordinate with us on their efforts to regionalize. So they have received some grant funds now, approximately $500,000 in grant funds to study regionalizing their water service or their wastewater providing provision of services, and with the intent is to study extending a collection line from Gualala to Anchor Bay. So they're continuing to keep us in the loop and to study that, which is great. The other thing that has come up is the South Coast Fire Protection District is having some initial explorations and conversations with Sonoma County fire districts about consolidation. So there's nothing substantial at this point, but those conversations are happening, and I just wanted to let the commission know that was happening, and that's part of the reasons we'll be prioritizing the South Coast Fire Services first. And we'll be doing some coordination with Sonoma LAFCO about that process, because Coast Life Support, which is a bi-county service provider, the principal LAFCO is Sonoma LAFCO for Coast Life Support, but it follows the same boundaries, and they are involved in as well.
Thank you. Commissioner Ward?
Yeah, I just had a last question. When do we expect an MSR, let's say, from City Point Arena? Are they getting close?
Yes, we have an administrative draft that is undergoing a last internal review, and then we'll be providing that to the city in the next week or two for a technical review, and then we should be able to schedule it for a workshop. If not October, then November. So
we're going to have a pretty busy October?
Probably November would be my guess.
Probably November. Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't bring me 3 of them one time, though. That's a lot of reading. Try to spread them out.
Noted. Okay.
800-page one, that was a long one.
EO Hinman, did you have any additional updates?
That's it. Thank you.
Okay, well, now we can adjourn. Thank you so much.
Thank you.